One of the most crushing experiences or experience rather, that a black person can have in this day and age, um, is to travel on a pilgrimage back to Africa. Um, this crushing experience comes as a um, major shock to the psyche of Africans that were either bought, literally brought up and raised in America, um, or Africans that were brought to America at an extremely early age. I was not necessarily brought to America at an extremely early age. I was brought at 12. However, I still had quite an incredible, um, beyond incredible, not only life changing, but life, life altering, if that has any more weight than life changing. Just it just destroys the matrix that you had in your mind. What is the thing that brings about this great shock? Witnessing Africans living in such a disparaging state of poverty, one that is unbearable to the human dignity. You can't suffer like that and still wear the same mask that everyone wears, if you know what I mean. Meaning, you can't show your face where people are showing their face without having to cover yourself. So I think that's probably one of the ways at which makeup manifests itself, is as in a reactionary adverse effect of some kind of a mental fracture in one's understanding of reality and how what one is in that reality. So the identity that one holds within oneself, which keeps one grounded, which serves as that unmovable, unshakable, unbending, unchanging aspect in one, um, like that aspect of one that should not change. For we know change is the only constant thing, and it's inevitable. However, we also know that there ought to be, if certain things are by nature changing, there ought to be a polarity to the changing, that which we notice, that which we can attest to, which is change, that is prevalent, it's inevitable, it's constant in every realm, sphere, thing, thought, all things. There has to be, however, amidst all of these tangible, changeable, or changing things, there has to be something that is unchangeable. Just like we have the tangible because we have the untangible or intangible. I don't know which is more appropriate, but you know what I mean. Similarly, change and changes are celebrated just like life is celebrated, because we know of death, because we know of when life can just cease to be. And because of that awareness, if only one man, or if only one man had to die for the whole to see and feel the absence, feel the meaning of of feeling the meaning of an absence, a permanent absence. If only one had to die for that, then that one is still enough to to release a kind of a fear and adrenaline or endorphin within the brain to cause the rest of the 99 to comply, to behave, to be conditioned, to be um controlled. So eh, fear manifests itself in many ways. Trauma manifests itself in many strange, subtle, disguising, cunning ways. And in my life, manifests itself in ways in just like I think I gravitate towards sexual stuff because it's a way for me to run away from trauma. It's almost like a deep desire to return to the womb. Let me be honest with you. It's a form of literally running the fuck away back to where the fuck you came from. And I know, as far as this earth is concerned, someone bust a nut. So I too want to return back to where. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like some kind of investigative journalism without you being aware you're doing it. So I think fear manifests itself in many ways. I think life can be so jarring, so traumatic upon appearance. For most of us, the trauma was inflicted at a very early age, um, and it's rather unfortunate. But that can kind of derail a mind into a life of confusion, and one that is absent of being present. So yes, young boy white standing next to young girl black, and she has this other being's hair on her head to cover her shame. Is it? Because why would you want to cover something that is beautiful and you know will earn you brownie points? The only reason why you want to cover it is because you are convinced it's the other. It's not beautiful, and this will decrease my beauty and or points rather than increase it in an age where people will sacrifice their grandmother's tongue, almost like voodoo, just to get likes. Why wouldn't you want to show your natural fucking hair if you believe that white boys liked that, or black boys, whomever you're appealing to? But you dress into the archetypal image that you want to appeal to, the divinity that you're submitting to. You wear the hair to appeal to the divine, the being. All women, essentially, the white male is like the Christ of the realm, and or if you don't want me to use a word like Christ, I can use a word like not if you don't want me. You know what I mean. If that's too far reaching at this point, because it makes you connecting the dot a little, it just makes it more confusing. Let me just use a more practical word for now. Let's say Gilgamesh. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, Gilgamesh fought Enkidu, and Gilgamesh was the heroine, just as it is said that the children of the Nephilims will be known as the renowned heroes, right? Who are the renowned heroes? Who are the people that write legends, fairy tales? Even the term fairy tales hints the origin of it. Fairies. Are Africans known as fairies or fairy tales? Do we have legends and myth or mythologies of us um, either portraying ourselves as fairies or calling ourselves fairies? What are fairies? And the word fairy tales, if you break down the etymology of the word, you find the word fair to be fair. Fairies, fairy tales. Who created these legends and made them available to us to eat and digest? It is the stories that our children eat that forge their mind and bend it towards what they believe to be master or slave. If our children don't consume a, a healthy diet of content that empowers their inner being, their strength, their self to literally be themselves, to have the power to be themselves beyond any physical masquerade, any material illusion of the self, a nose that can be taken away by a basic car crash or an accident, or even an abusive partner can literally pinch your nose off. What else would you do? Would you your entire sense of being, your anchoring, again, going back to the immovable, immutable, unreplaceable aspects of you. To know thyself is to identify something about yourself that is unchanging, that is constant through the winds, the motions, the seasons. To know thyself is to anchor the knowing, the anchor the identity of the self in that thing. So I identify that there has to be, by virtue of the math of existence, if indeed there is or could be a God, then that thing, that God, I'm not an island. I didn't invent or create myself outside of God. I too had a parent, whether they're living or not present. We are here because of, and that is humbling in itself. As in as much as I am the father of arrogance, it is humbling knowing that your emanation is as a result of a defragmentation of another. Essentially, someone had to break a piece of themselves in order to create you. I am a piece, literally a fragment of my father conjoined with my mother. So I became this thing. I'm nothing original. There's fucking nothing original about me. I'm just an aspect of my mother and an aspect of my father that somehow forged together or fused together and created this other imprint, which is just an expression, a version of my mother and father. So most of my the range of my being biologically. Again, I'm not going to get into etymology, not etymology, but what's the name of it? What's the term? Physio Physiology. I think it's physiology. I'm not going to get into the physiology of the biology, meaning I don't know if that makes sense, but you know what I mean. I'm not going to get into the nuance of what makes our cells or certain cells activate, like environment and or even knowledge or whatever it is, whatever process, what suffering does that to. Sometimes uh, you know uh, being in wealthy abundant state does that. Whatever agitates the thing in you that perhaps never found room to blossom, to finally come out. I'm just speaking on the bare template that you have to work with. The basic template is that you are a fragment of your mother and your fragment of your father put together to forge you. And so you are this so-called new thing, but that new thing is a descendant, or it descended from those two pairs, the Y and the X. So I'm an expression of my mother and my father. I am literally an expression of them. In certain myths, the child destiny and or the child, yes, the child destiny is partly intertwined with even the desire, even if it's unverbalized desire, meaning a deep inner seating, a desire that is subconscious even. It could even be a prayer. You can say that our children are sometimes the manifestation. of our prayers, our deepest desire, the things that we long to see in the world that we could not do anything about. Sometimes we just fuck it into existence, literally. For they carry the energy of the intention of the creator. And so it's this process of intention that sort of descends from above, if you will, right? Where there's the initial original master plan, that which the creator or the original mind had as an initial design long before even the solar system comes into motion, long before the galaxy or anything, this initial design. Just as if I want to, if I want to set a thing in motion, and I want to set several things in motion, that the fact that I already have the notion of motion, and the fact that I'm already at a place where I'm thinking to set the thing in motion, meaning I have time. For motion requires time as well, right? So if I have all of these pre-existing understanding, why wouldn't I have the understanding of where the ball will roll and land? Where these pieces, these living beings that I'm placing in an environment that's already suitable for life, do they even need to think? So, like, if the environment is already conducive for life, nurturing for life, what work are you doing? The work of realizing that you're conscious, and then realizing that wait, I'm thirsty. Wait, that's water. Wait, let me place my lip on up atop the water and suck gently and see if that nourishes me or fulfills that desire or thirst. Who had to make the connection? Who had to read the how to understand that thirst requires water, and or water is the solution for thirst? The thirst is a pain point that requires water as a solution. And why is it that when given sand in place of water, when one is experiencing that thirst, why is it that that sand does not satisfy the being? Who teaches the being that this is the right? And this is how I believe that the ancients stumbled into medicine, stumbled into the understanding of all things. For we are born with the knowledge of all things. We are born with this knowledge, whether it's in full activation at an early age, and the child is so bright and genius and they could do X, Y, and Z, whether it is or it isn't, whether some of it is dormant, whether some of them are dormant because of environment, because of the nurturing, because of the water. If the plants had watered them every day, and the watering can just be those just acceptance. Sometimes you don't even have to compliment someone. Just look at them like you're okay with them being there, like they accept it, they're worthy. But this idea that we look at loved ones as as bill payers, as commodity, as slaves, as useful, if not useful, useless, as though any being can be. Is there a thing as a useless being? Who is a being to denote another as useless? How can you assess the quality of someone's existence? How can you be able to qualify or quantify, rather, the the range, as someone said recently, the range of how one could inspire, or how one's life, the meaning? How can you be able to detect the meaning of someone else's life? Nobody can. And that's the dark aspect of human, like, existence. There's no such thing as a greater quality of life, or a greater life than another, or his life was more valuable, because you don't know that. No, we don't know that. Beauty, race, so far, part of the reason why some of these ideologies seem far fetched, or we even wrestle with the thought of that, is because our minds are so warped into the notion that value is something that we possess, in that we look at each other as numbers, as literally dollar signs, value number. This is the reason why I can understand now. I never ever knew as a young guy, and I think that's part of the naivete that men carry, because men hate to admit ignorance at any stage, or the lack of knowing. I do. But one of the ways in which I realized I was quite naive as a youth was in my assumption that women just love. Maybe because as a guy, you just think, I just forgot about money, man. I don't know how to say it. I really forgot about money. I forgot how important money was. I forgot that the whole world literally just, I forgot that all the women like is money, I guess. You have money, you have women, not even a woman if you want. But then what does that even mean at that point? If I'm just buying you, then I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Why would you buy something? Why would I get a lamp or not never turn it on? If I'm buying you, I might as well just fuck the shit out of you. That like, if that's wild. I didn't know that it's exceptional for a woman to want to be with you if you don't have money. So women just like money so much. If you don't have money, but I thought you're free too. It's like a black guy is saying, I don't want to be with a white guy if you don't want one. I don't get it. If we're free, it doesn't matter, right? You're free, you can work jobs that don't even require you move a muscle. It's not like back in the day. I don't have to go hunt and bring, we have a fridge now. We can keep the food for weeks. We don't have to eat it overnight. You don't have to go outside and dry clothes. You can work as a telemarketer. You can work and just use your mind, use your experience as a woman, and just be like a care counselor, something. There's so many, like, society has liberated, has democratized, has made the work field an equal playing field where everyone could work, you know, meaning women can earn like men and be self sufficient and independent in America. That's how the society is constructed. And that's lovely, which gives room for the woman to be empowered and to choose. Now, since I know I have the same amount of opportunity to do anything that I want to do, just as this man does, I'm only going to choose to be with him, but I wouldn't be with him in the same manner. I wouldn't be with him for the same reasons that my mother was with my father during, whatever, or my grandmother was with her, with my grandfather, or my great grandmother. Those are not the same reasons that would keep me in my own. I understand that the biology, humanity, in order to maintain or have to be, we need to continue being, and that means I need to find a way to cultivate and nurture love and grow love. However, it may not be for the same reasons or in the same manner, even that my parent did it. However, that still needs to be achieved. The goal has to be achieved, which is, we have to, if someone didn't do that, you wouldn't be here. That's how important it is. Though we may argue all day about how unimportant, and how, if everybody was gay during slavery, there wouldn't be anyone here. Niggas would have just fucked each other out of existence. So we know that gay exists. It's just like planting seeds. We know that certain corns you plant in the farm come out purple, but we know that's not the color of all corn. Corn is yellow. or white or whatever. We know the color of corn. So when it comes out a variant that is just dramatically outside of the whole, we know that this is an anomaly. That's why it's unique. And sometimes you pluck that out and you breed it. Now, that's the case in America. Americans have mastered the art of alchemy, which is breeding, converting, changing, thinking one thing and altering its state. That is what is happening in the black community. It's alchemy. It's taking a bean and changing the state of the bean from one thing to another. And that is actually an exercise of a showcase of one's might or power. An empire does that to show the other empire, I am able to do that. To my own people, yes. But the whole idea of having a people is to be able to control the people. Control requires punishments, subjugations, uh, you know, compartmentalizing things, organizing things, in putting things in their rightful place, so to speak. Just like the caste system. So essentially, demarcating a barrier around someone's mind and essentially existence and saying, this is where you fit as a result of this, because of this. This is where you exist. This is your fate, is to be a gardener. Your fate is to be a dishwasher. Your fate is to be a whore. Your fate is to be a bitch. That means your place in America is to suck dick and fuck. That's why you emanated in America. Now, while you may think that you have other purpose, once you come to understand the matrix around you, you understand that you are you had a confined box pre-emanation that's supposed to limit you and govern all of your parading around, all the bouncing from here to here, and cartel you to a particular place from the time that you emanate to the time that you cease to exist. And through that period, we know when will be your climax, your peak, when you begin to because for when you first come into emanation, you go through this gestational period of not knowing what's happening, and then as you begin to come of age, you begin to see that which is around you. You begin to make sense, make derive meaning out of the animation you watched as a child, for instance. You begin to make connections around the things around you. You begin to see that you're living in a world that is more than your capacity to even fully comprehend in one lifetime, for it is a thread of thoughts that have been well needed together, knitted together over eons. And this is what it means to be an immortal. This is what it means to be uh, um, um, to have the power or the ability to live forever. Living forever was not a material state. It was that the gods understood that their thoughts, their ideas, once united as an Elohim, hence the terminology. Now we, as quote unquote God, know that X, Y, and Z, or we or they now become like us, the gods. So as a collective, they have a synergy, an understanding, a kind of a knowing, a code, a secrecy, a covenant. And you can say if that covenant is literally the knowing is a remote that I get to use to engage reality or control reality. Why will I want reality or the rest of reality to know, hey, I'm holding the remote? Why will I want to do that? I think that the motivation, the further back you go, suggests that I would behave more like that, especially if I feel like That will take away what position I had. And if I wanted to maintain that position, by all means, then the obvious thing to do would be to not tell you. So, secrecy in civilized nations is baked into the civility of the nation, the quote unquote civility. There, I don't see any modern I don't see any modern human civilization that has been built to the level of the Americas that has no secret doctrine. Not Japan, not China, not India, not um, England or Europe or United Kingdom, whichever, or all, or Germany, whatever. I'm just saying every civilized, quote unquote, first world nation has an underprinting, a footnote, some initial spark. That fire that began that civilization was an idea, was a thought, was a story, an idea, literally. Okay. This is why this nation civilizations stand on mythologies and fairy tales. For in as much as a civilization may look all put together, I don't care what magnificent science fiction reality you're looking at, that whole thing can be held, could be held with a string, a simple thin string, no thinner than a human hair, no stronger perhaps than a fishing rod or fishing cord, right? That string of thought, that almost seemingly invisible string of thought, is what holds this magnificent, grandiose, mm, whatever civilization that most of us, especially Africans like myself, that emanated from poorer parts of the planet, are at awe of. Almost we look at them with drooling tongues, like, you know what I'm saying, like some bizarre ancient peasant savage that just escaped some whatever. We are at awe of these Western civilizations, and then now comes artificial intelligence, which just literally shattered our minds and shut us up because we were trying to figure out how to catch up and build factories. And now you people are not even building factories anymore. You've graduated out of that. You've graduated out of manufacturing. You graduated out of industrialization. You graduated out of service economy into a artificial human civilization, one that is another being that you create doing the work for you. We're still trying to build road from Okoredu to this thing with basic quality, premium tar, basic gravel. We have not even finished doing that. Do you understand? That's how backward the fuck we are. So when somebody tells me, you know, we are, Africa is like 250 years. Once upon a time, I thought so too. Africa is like the Americas in the early 1900s, when America was forging into a new state, new frontier, just as, X, Y, and Z. I too argued with myself, and I convinced myself that point was quite valid once upon a time, till I heard another, another thought that said Elon Musk, his wealth, the fact that he's at a 300 billion range, it will take many men, most of us, 10,000 years to catch up to his wealth. We're going to need to make some ridiculous amount of dollars a day or a minute in order to catch up to this man, if we even live long enough. 10,000 years. Now, if you can be living in the same planet with a man that is 10,000 years ahead of you as far as their ability to aggrandize wealth to themselves, meaning their capacity to attract. That means in his lifetime, how many doubts did he have? How many, yes, we create our reality, da 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 da. It's just our thinking as a man think it. So you tell me this white boy grew up in Africa, and I didn't mean that to belittle Elon, calling him a white boy or anything. I'm just saying that as a young boy, as a young man, he was raised in Africa, and he never experienced, he never undergone the same trials and tribulate the fears and the doubts that we had. No, he lived in Africa. He he's a we in Africa grew up with Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, where they lift a white baby up and say, "Here is the God child that we worship." Africans worship white flesh. That's why Jesus is a white. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe in no black anything. We know black is bad. We sit there in churches and we say, "Oh, our darkness, this dark." We are the darkness. We are the black. We are the dark. So my confusion is, when are we going to resolve this? Because my brain cannot resolve that shit. When I sit over there and every time I hear people just saying how it's just weird to me. It's like, I am the light, but I am the dark. I mean, if I don't sit on that, that should be an. Shouldn't we have forums where we come have conversations about that so that our fucking children will have the understanding? Or does everybody just get it and I'm the only one who does not? How the fuck are you the dark and then you're the light? How are you the black and then you're the white? How are you black and white? How are you light and dark at the same damn time? Doesn't that take some kind of surgical procedure to be able to identify the outer dark and to separate that from the inner dark, so that you don't get awashed with this mentality that when you hear dark, you are triggered because you know that that subconsciously is talking about you. For you, dark is a synonym of black. When we use terms like blackballed, how you feel being blackballed, or when we say, blackmail, anything black is negative, anything white is positive. So if that's the case, isn't that an automatic condemnation, pre-birth condemnation? Like I said, I don't blame nobody. I take 1000% full responsibility. All I'm saying is, perhaps I've just been born again in a time where I get to see it. And even if I can't do anything about it, I get to say something about it and die. For real. Yeah. I'm only talking from the remnant of things that I can recall. So again, forgive me if I'm too happy, if I'm too cocky, if I'm too um, anything that you may perceive me to be. You know, I apologize for that. I really do. And I mean that from the depths of my soul. I mean that. For that, again, that will be just me speaking out of ignorance, but I think that I had to make up my mind to try to say something in respective of the perception of it, but beyond even just saying in respective of perception, but in respective of being ignorant, uh, and fumbling in the process. For that's kind of guaranteed, I think. um for I can't remember everything at every moment. um and I certainly, leave things out, and sometimes say things like it was someone else's fault, as though I'm shifting blame. And I'm not trying to sound like that, because I'm, the leader, takes responsibility. No, no, no. I don't know about leaders, and I'm just, people are not even honest enough these days, man. Even when they have things, they lie, and that's just sad. And like, I feel like when you lie, it just break hearts, man. And to be very honest with you, maybe all I want to try to do before I die is just not lie so much. That's it. Maybe that's just my fuck a New Year's resolution. That's my life resolution, man. I don't want to lie to myself, and I don't want to lie to anybody. So, and I find that I lie to myself when I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about oftentimes when I can't even remember shit. So, what's the solution for that? I try to talk about the things that I can remember, and I try to do it gently. I try. I'm not saying I'm great at that, and I try to do it gently because I know that I can't remember it fully. So, all that this could be is just, again, this idea that you think you're doing it because you drove yourself into doing it, but well, in fact, you were driven into doing it. So I may not be in control, and shit. Well, what can I say about that? I have to be okay with it, even if I'm not. Um, so I'm just trying to function with whatever ounce of knowing that I think I know and could put into use at the highest capacity for myself, even if it's not for direct monetary um, reward. It at least satisfies the soul's desire to confess, to repent, to say. And I think maybe that's what confession or repentance is, to just say. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the things once said, it's like confessing to being a drug addict. Once said, I don't wake up the next day and I'm suddenly without temptation or the desire to drink, but at least it's another step towards the path of recovery, is accepting that, right? So, or at least being able to sit with the smell of that conversation. So this world that, I'm supposed to gravitate towards weaves and fake hair, and I love them. They're cute sometimes, just not every day, all the time on everyone. Um, I say I love them doesn't mean I want to see that shit every day. I would rather see a black girl with her natural hair feeling confident at any and every setting among all people, which whatever fucking color, being herself, emanating her true essence and color in whatever realm she finds herself, wherever garden she's planted. I want her to blossom. She's a purple hibiscus. Let her be purple hibiscus in whatever garden. Why should she start looking yellow or trying to mimic the tulips? That's stupid. So, like I said, I caused it, so I can't be saying it with all that intensity of that stupid, right? Well, it's just crazy. It's like you fuck shit up and you come back around and see the shit that you fuck up and you mad, but you did it. So, like I said, it makes the process of untangling this thing a lot more, sensitive. I'm not saying that I'm trying to be more sensitive myself because it's me, so I'm selfish. But if it was not me, then I would be all mad and angry and all X, Y, and Z. I'm just saying that there's a deeper level of awareness that comes with assuming, even if you are not responsibility, and perceiving and approaching solving the problem from that dimension, because then you cover all the loopholes, you cover all the excuses of, oh, but he or she, or I don't even want to look at anything in the radar and just say, how, if I did this, how could I solve it from here, like from where I'm standing. And it's not an easy thing to come into accepting for oneself. It's very humiliating. Um, it's so yeah, it's just like, that's why I'm like, man, AI kind of liberates me from trying to be smart. So fuck intelligence, okay? If AI gets to handle all of that, then I get to be human. I get to be foolish sometimes. I get to forget. I get to fart shit. Fuck, sleep, get tired, get hungry, Pee in public occasionally where it's safe and there are no kids around or schools. I get to just be, you know what I'm saying? Occasionally, I didn't say I want to pee outside every day. And I'm not talking about going to public squares where there's like carpeted grass. And I'm just saying, just the occasional time you take walks and you stumble upon a little bush by the corner here and there, little things like that. Just be fucking human. This shit, and that's a with this whole pretentious women with weaves and shit. How I could fuck you easily, but how will I? Who the fuck want to maintain this level of disguise? Like every day, bitch, you want to dress up like Inspector Gadget. What the fuck? You think we don't see you? You think we don't know you got a net underneath that shit? What are you? Who would you be in this universal world of things if you ain't got that hair? You think we stupid? You think that we don't know that your personality descends from that hair? Bitch, that you speaking, even fixing your accent, all of that, it's not right. It's like you walk into the room and you give out all your power because you're wearing my hair. Imagine I shave my pubic hair and I give it to you and you put it on your mustache. And then you talking to me with my pubic hair on your mustache. And you trying to convince me of shit. And I'm like, bro, you got my balls. I sound like all the YouTubers I hate. Oh God. You know why? I hate them because I misunderstand them. I misunderstand them. And I only realize that as I talk. It's hard to get your point across sometimes when something really, really bothers you. It's 4 a.m. and I cannot sleep. You are man, all I want is for my daughter to grow up and grow her hair and love herself, even if she finds herself in Mars, even if she's surrounded by 1,000 white guys and one black guy. Do you see how white girls are in movies? Do you see how they die for that shit? Because they know it's all about genetics, genes, genesis. It's all about the beginning. Genes, genesis, genetics. It's all about the preserve. What is self love? You want to talk to me about self love. You ain't, you, you love yourself, but if the one, you love yourself, but you're not willing to, the greatest test of your love, right, is to have options. I don't think that it's love to tell somebody, bro, you can't fuck nobody. I will never date like that. I will never be in any relationship like that. I don't want to be. It's not even a test. Love requires breeding space, man. Just let me breed. Let me breed. But I don't want to breed out of rebellion. Like I'm rebelling from you. Let me go do this. No. That's why I say, let me. I need your permission. So I don't believe in cheating. I need your permission to go sleep with her. It's what I'm telling you. Just like you need my permission to go fuck him. Love, I don't want to be your prisoner and I don't want you to be my fucking prisoner. I don't want to get up thinking, oh, I own this is my bitch. I don't own a fucking thing in this fucking world, bro. Get the fuck out of it. Don't tell me that shit. Don't lie to me. I don't even own my fucking soul, my nigga. And come at me with them bullshit. This is your bitch. You own her. I don't own this bitch. This ain't my fucking bitch. I don't own no bitch. I don't own my child. I don't own my mother. I don't own my daughter. I don't own my fucking girlfriend or wife or anything. So what are you talking about? If I never owned you and I could not own you and you don't own me and nobody owns anybody, then how could you ever think that a ring will just literally seal someone's vagina? How can that happen? Unless she literally wears a chastity belt that seals that shit and gives you the key, and you get to sleep with the key knowing I got that key. I'm gonna take that shit to my grave. If I die, ain't nobody going in there. How can you? Nothing you can do, whether you like it or not. Marriages, if they don't end in divorce, as a wise man said, they end in death. So if that is the case, and even if they don't end in death, didn't Christ say that in heaven there won't even be any marriage? Angels, everybody will just be on their own. So this thing that we've collected as marriage, where it's just let me go and hide my own, my guy, I don't get nothing for this fucking life. That's no surprise. You know that. I don't have any money. And I pray to God that I never get money, never have money, that I die this way, if money will alter me dramatically for the worse. For I have suffered enough that I don't need any more misery because of something that I desire that I maybe don't need. And as much as I like sex, I kind of feel that way about sex. And it's a difficult thing to admit, but there's an aspect of me that has to, and it's like people always say, I like sex. Man, everybody get their reason. Oh, me, I not go judge you. I own beyond me. I don't get friends. My dick has been my friend since I was a kid. So yes, whenever I get a suitable place to stick it, I generally appreciate that. And like I said, to each his own. I'm not to each his own. I'm just saying maybe my trauma, maybe my pain, maybe that's the things that kind of give me a little bit of comfort. Maybe it's not sex, maybe it's just masturbation and pornography, and maybe that's just different, you know. But yeah, maybe accessibility, having access, having the money to be able to afford to fuck the kind of girls that I want to fuck all the time. Maybe that limits my promiscuity and therefore forced me into a state of superficial righteousness. And if that is the case, then that is a it's kind of like the effect of poverty, sort of cultivating some kind of humility, or humiliation cultivating humility in a man, right? Where it's like it's a negative thing that birth a positive thing. If that's the case, I don't have a choice but to embrace it and keep it moving as slow as I do move. So it's just what it is. But I feel genuinely like I just want my daughter to be free, be like a butterfly, have her fucking hair at whatever state any day, feel like your scalp matters, fuck the hair, your fucking skull, you have a skull. And your scalp matters. This is where I say I sound like the YouTubers I hate, because then you think I'm being funny. It's not fucking funny. That's why I don't like to laugh all the time, because I think everything is not funny. This is a pandemic. This is part of part of the thing, part of the Willie Lynch syndrome, and the slave syndromes manifesting in all of these deeper inner insecurities, right? That we all have, the men and the women. Once upon a time, no black man wants to step out of the house without dyeing their hair. Literally, let me kill all the fucking cells in the hair and flatten that motherfucker so that they can blow by the wind. Like, what? So all of us were out here looking like Nate King Cole and Sammy Davis, right, with the perms. But today, look, only Cat Williams has a perm in this modern age, and nobody cares, right? which means we may wake up in a day, we will wake up in a day, inshallah, where only one black girl may have weave, and you'd be like, oh, that's different, right? One, and nobody will give a fuck because it's not a goddamn pandemic. Not all black men feel like I gotta go. That should be evident that there's hope, since the men used to do it too, and the men stopped. Perhaps the women would stop. So I'm very hopeful. But as we phase out this stage in our evolution, it's good to just reflect on that shit. How daunting it was to pretend to be someone else, to keep pretending to be Becky, to be sucking dick, making her voice, because she took over your mind and you're a zombie, that she has possessed you. That's what possession means. When you're wearing somebody's hair, they've possessed you. So they've taken your mind. You're the zombie. Even as you know, they talk, you want to say things the way she did say, girl, I'm a baddie, right? You want to do just the way she did do as the guy they chop you like suya. You want make sounds the way she they make sounds. Oh baby, bitch, what is your natural sound? I went to Africa and I had sex with a girl, and I told her, speak Birom, I beg. Don't speak Hausa, don't speak English. Go to the village, talk to me in that ancient tongue. I should they mourn, should they call all kinds of ancient gods' name, should they do things anyhow. I'm like, bro, but this is Inyash, bro. This is unique. This is original. You fucking I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm a man of God. I know I don't Ah, I know I don't look it. Oh God, I'm killing it. My stomach is killing me. I know I'm deep down inside. I may not look it. I'm a man of God. Oh Allah, I love God. I respect women. I love my mother. I respect my wife. Technically, we're not married, but I respect my partner. I respect my mother. I respect the people that I know in life. My sister. All black women are beautiful to me. All women are beautiful to me. And all people are beautiful to me. I don't have any deep seated hate for any group of persons for any particular reasons. Um, I just pray that I have the courage, right, to be able to address the things that I noticed in some of these communities, just starting with my own community and starting with my own house. And I don't want to dwell on talking about negative things, and as though I don't see the positive aspect. I think that the positive aspect of black women far. So I'm not a black woman hater or basher, God forbid. No. And that's not for social anything. There's just no profit in doing that. So I'm not coming from that kind of, mentality or mind. And it doesn't take someone insulting me or correcting or telling me. I just don't have that desire to do that. That's not my intention. I'm not one to belittle anyone. I just genuinely want to see my daughter grow up in a world where she can be fully herself. Bitch, if you change hair color or style every fucking week, day, you don't know yourself. Do you know why? Let me tell you something. You talk about brands. I'm on my own brand. I'm my own brand. Do you know why blonde is a brand? Because blonde has become like that unchanging thing. Like bitch can pull a blonde on you for a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? And that's some badass shit. Being yourself is not a style. It shouldn't be weavering with the weave. It shouldn't be something that changes with a look. You shouldn't just be looking at people look monkey they see, monkey they do. What somebody here put on their hair, this color, that color. You are the only race that change color every day. You're unstable. You don't know yourself. It's evident. If you know yourself, you will land on a style. This cornrow that you've belittled, that you look at as nothing, you stupid moose. If today blondes start doing cornrow, all of you, because you all you do is copy white girls. You know, they cut your hair for this middle because when I want copy white girl, when I they do all the thing when I they do now to just copy white women. So if white girls now begin to they do cornrows, all when I will go to do them. Why? Because oyibo dem do am ba ko ba haka ba amma in ba su yi sai ke ma kinki naki your own thing. Don't mind me with the men, I'm coming there, oh, but I know that as far as this head thing goes, men have graduated. You don't see black men doing all these shower. Even the fucking gay ones self, even the gay black guys, still they try. They try. They have something for them. You know what I'm saying? They know they just do this palm thing the way that they do them 1920s, 1940s. This is bullshit. To wake up in 2024 and to be seeing weave, we what team be naje Africa kaje wai kasan gindin ma gaba daya kaje tushin abun. Do you understand? And what will I find? At a point I girls they talk say, Kai, yeah, see that girl's hair is big afro, just hair. I want lie down, just to play with that thing. Like, guy, how you carry your hair like this? This guy just they laugh me like, guy, you the craze. I say, waiting. They say, you don't know say this thing that weave. I'm like, what? Say in Africa. She say, yes, now. Say in Africa is where we weave. Say, yes, this is not weave. They say, but this is African hair. This is natural hair. Oh. Say, no. Just because the hair look natural, nobody say the thing carry be real. That's when the thing shattered my brain. I'm like, is it that you cannot grow hair? Even the one way your texture self, you know, if you grow them, you don't get patience, you don't want to drink water. So you just want to do cosmetic, everything made in China. Huh? Why do you want your own hair to be made in China? Your own human extension. Imagine I want fuck you with a made in if I want fuck you with a made in China dick, what do you carry say? So there's something deeply hypocritical about any girl influencer that has artificial everything daily, always, and glorifies masking, covering, hiding. That's diabolical. When you should be doing shows showing girls how to wash that fucking makeup, take these things off, and find a boy that is brave enough to love her the way she is, and she will secure life, family. Like the blonde girl doesn't have to, bitch, she can shave. White girls out here, even when they're on cancer, they can find a nigga to pick them up. Any state, wheelchaired, fat, they can find a nigga that was willing to, because they're just themselves. The most fucking beautiful thing you can do in life is to just have the courage to be yourself. Nobody think when I didn't teach me be that. No be me carry be teacher now just because I get microphone. Motherfucker, I'm your student. You are the one that taught me this. So I just want you to do what you need to teach me. I'm just a fucking African. Look at me talking with an accent. I don't get bank account. How the fuck are you going to tell me that me I can't tell you something? So now you they tell me. So tell me, how can you be talking to me with this hair that I know if the temperature changes right now, it will melt on your head. If the wind blow the wrong direction right now, your entire confidence, you know, feel maintain character. Why? Because it will blow. So when the even confidence can bazaki yake biki confidence ba an cire su man shikenan zaki fadi. Yeah, a liar. So this hair thing is deeply humiliating. It just finishes the race. What will a group of people do without their women? Foundation. How can you build a nation without building a family? Foundation. How can you build a family without a woman? Foundation. How can you find a woman that is real? Chineke, you see what I'm talking about? Plastic hair. Somebody will say, if you want to save a country, if you want to save a world, if you want to go to Mars, motherfucker, You don't have to go to Mars. Get these bitches, take that shit off their fucking heads. Let your scalp breathe. Let the air blow that shit. Let it smell good. Let niggas come around you and they want to smell your fucking head. Take the fucking weave off. What kind of fucking ritual is this? Shit is haunting. Everywhere you turn, you see that shit. It's a fucking pandemic. It's an epidemic. The fuck? This why ain't they shutting down fucking streets? Why isn't this as alarming as corona fucking virus? A whole race? If all of Asians right now start weaving baskets and putting it in their hair, and all of them sit and wait for hair to be imported from Africa, Africans' hair that they shave off their body so that them they can wear it. Won't you say these people have lost their mind? Especially since all the ritual is not producing anything. Their country is declining, their children are dying of hunger, and they're migrating in drastic drones to come into your own country. Won't you find a way to monetize them because they are dead? Now I see why in the Bible they were talking about people that were living in gold, the dead should go and bury their dead. They were not talking about when the dead should go and bury their dead. We say, oh, what kind of language is that? How can a dead person bury a dead person? No, it's because we are dead and we're living now. No be so. We're dead and we're living now. Mutu amagamu nan dare. Kana nan dare din kamar ni na zama mushi a nana. No be so. That's so now. Mun mutu ba. In ba mutuwan ba, explain to me don Allah na tunani. In ba mutu ba, in ba mutum ya mutu ba, how can you take a dead human being's, another human being's corpse of a hair and put it on your own hair so that you can appeal to who? You can appeal to who? You want to appeal to, it's like you want to appeal to, no, women are designed conditionally, right, to appeal to the highest apex masculine, you know, um, like male symbol or predator or type, like the archetypal male idea. That's what women are conditioned to appeal to, right? This archetypal idea fundamentally is rooted on or rooted in having. So black people in America are here to breed, they're breeders. The whites get to take the chickens, like to take the women, pluck them. Since the white men are already postured and branded as the halves, and blacks are branded and postured as the have not, the poor, the wealthy, the black, the white, the down, the up, the out, the in, the up, the low, the light, the dark. Since we are the polarity, if they are the have and we are the absence of having, and girls all gravitate towards the have, then it's imperative for the white race to maintain their existence by making sure that the black male does not have, so that the liquid women will roll. He would have more pool of options in order to select for breeding, in order to maintain his genesis. And him having more pool is derived out of this pre-designed metrics or matrix that postures him as a half. He is branded as the epitome of half, in that you presume he has until proving otherwise, and reversed when it comes to the black male, where you presume he has not unless he proves to you that he has. So I am the epitome of no, and he's the epitome of yes. Who the fuck is gonna get more pussy? He's gonna get more pussy all the time, even if he doesn't. It has nothing to do with attraction. At this point, it's your brand. It's like he is Mercedes and I am Hyundai. So ask me if you think this is spurring out of jealousy. Maybe 2%, maybe more, and maybe none. I don't know. You tell me. Maybe my degree of how angry I am in the with the subject will suggest, oh, he just a hater. He just hating because he ain't getting no pussy, and them niggas they getting pussy, and he ain't. Or it could be more. And even if it is, who gives a flying fuck? Is it true or not? If it's true, that's all that matters. Whether or not I constructed it or I said it that way, which I'm quite sure I must have. You know why? Because I don't hear all the motherfucking niggas talking about this shit the way I'm talking or thinking about it. And for that, I I'm guilty. I'm guilty. And you could say maybe knowing that takes away some of that jealousy or whatever that thing is, or maybe it amplifies it. I don't know. I think a greater question, though, in respective of addressing certain topics because you're afraid is going to make you seem like a simp or some wimp or a loser or failure in it. That's what. Honestly, the guy I like to assume that posture that yes, there is, even if there isn't, just because I want to appeal to your worst nature as far as your thoughts of your assumptions of humanity, because that's kind of what I would do. I'm human. I would assume, yeah, he probably, and maybe he is, but I would probably assume, if I know better, that maybe he doesn't feel like that all the time, but it's possible for him to feel like that. And maybe if I know even more, I would assume it will probably require higher feeling to be able to even say anything, because just jealousy is usually expressed in just anger. And I'm familiar with that because I've gone through the streams of motions of emotions, right? So I've gone through the motion of feeling that, and I realize when you're really jealous, you don't really want to say much because you don't even want to reveal that because and therefore it's kind of shameful. So it's more anger. You just kind of you react in anger. Like, I don't like this shit. I know it ain't right. That's some bullshit. But it's just more anger. And I think a lot of niggas know and they do express. And that's what I'm saying. We live here. Many of us see these things. We know these things. We can't even say it. And when we start saying it, some of us, we can hear our accents. You know how when you start talking, you hear yourself talk, and you know that, wait a minute, my language does not sound convincing. Why? Because there is a tone, a sound that has already been programmed in us that unlocks, literally opens the fuck out of our vaginas when you hear that sound. It's like the British. All of us grew up watching British documentaries in Africa and them explaining the intricacies of nature to us. We've all been programmed. We say it, programmed, and we call it scripting languages. We say, I'm learning how to code. And they say, what are you learning? I'm learning a script. I'm learning Cobalt, C++, JavaScript, HTML, whatever. These are languages, right? And we call them scripts. We call them programming scripts. Now, English is a programming language. Programming, script, language. So we've all been coded. All of us. I can't be born in this society today and say that I'm not a product of my environment, that I'm not a code, that I'm not a manifestation of a code of programming. So my experiences, my environment kind of altered me slightly, and my maybe innate biology, how my biology responds to the turmoil of my environment, that kind of thing, and certain genes. I think epigenetics is the word I was looking for. Certain genes activate as a result, whether with my knowing or not. I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, I think that it's natural to go through all of that, and if you love someone and you love someone and you feel like they're literally, you can see them dying or decaying or slipping away from you, some aspect of you would be like, I may want to share you, but I don't want to lose you. You know what I'm saying? And that is exactly really what I'm saying. There's a difference in, I want to go share myself in Japan. I love being black. I love myself. I can't change and be Japanese or whatever anyway. And they can't and I don't want to feel, and I don't feel any sense of inferiority over my big nose or my big lips or that's what I'm attracted to. That's me. White people, they make their movies. They're not even conscious we're making a white movie. Fucking blacks thinking, oh, is this a black movie? Nobody gives a fuck. They're just making a movie and they have all the people around them, the girl, the love interest. When they say the girl, they just mean the girl like them. You, on the other hand, you are so fucking lost. You're so confused. The minute you start saying the girl, you're not thinking, is she light skinned? Is she no, if she's the girl, that means she's the blackest bitch on the block with braids or dreads, motherfucker. Like, we as a race, we agree this is the template. This is what we call our blonde. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, this is uncompromisable. You don't compromise, you don't change that. If I die today, now the same thing tomorrow forever. Your beautiful, most beautiful motherfucker has to be somebody that is absolutely natural. You telling me a Miss World wearing your hair? You mad? Bitch, you can't even be yourself. Grow a dread. Sh- Grow an afro. Let it cut short, low, and don't come up with excuses. Black hair is hard to maintain. Black hair is, white people had your hair, they won't be bitching. Motherfuckers are trying to go to Mars. We can't solve shampoo. How about? It's absolutely, that's why I say in this life, we're at a stage where to think is a crime. Needless to say, motherfucker, either you are cancelled, or see how they don't get us all. They don't monetize speech. You monetize mind. You monetize idea, thought. You monetize this one. Now when I don't create machine, my way go do everything. We don't even need ourselves. So what the fuck are we even here for again? Ah, you don't need me. No, my job is doing fine. Oh, 1 week I never show. They don't even notice. Say I don't do. Do you understand? Computer don't do everything. To na karfi na kuma a cikin wannan garin. Me zan yi to? What is my purpose? My meaning? If my meaning and my purpose was to work hard, and computer is doing harder working than you. So working hard is no longer your identity. Chine. So what you will do now? What are we gonna do? Now that I cannot boast and say this and that, heaven and hell, what am I going to do now? I'm left to just contemplate. Do you understand? It's wild. It's wild. A whole realm, a whole race? That's deep. That's deep. No matter what she has, she can have the prettiest. In fact, some of them still got hair and they just join the it mental illness is weird, okay? It can be so disguised and so celebrated out openly, like the guy that just got up one day and became a woman and wore a dress and cut off his penis and was awarded the best woman, better woman than women. I mean, there are different awards that you can give a man for bravery. The bravery, the cut of your dick, gotta be one of the bravest thing. Fuck going to war. I mean, there's many ways you can celebrate a man for bravery in life, and for their ability to even be themselves, come out and all of that. I don't have anything against that. Especially like I said, these anomalies are in nature. It's natural, therefore, for certain percentile of your society to sort of deviate and or be the other, or but when you zoom in on that and you begin to falsely manufacture that or exacerbate that or make it more than it is, um it can destroy, it become cancerous, it becomes, and cancer does not necessarily mean a bad thing. It just means the thing you don't want growing where you want a particular thing growing. So it becomes interference, you know. It becomes it becomes an adversary. That's what a fucking cancer is. It becomes adversarial, it becomes something else, you know. So so because it's now trying to eat the pre-existing norm or mode, and that's when people start to push back. When it becomes that, it becomes cannibalistic. So I put a lens on this, suddenly boys and Daddy Delaney or whatever, all these guys, and like, whoa, you warped, and then you sprinkled some technology on that, meaning you can mass produce this being, and it's a great way to escape in a world that embraces weave culture already, and cross dressing and all that. This idea of just not having to be. Do you know how many times I just go, dog? If I could just take it in the fucking ass, I have me a yacht, some nigga to take care of me. No, I never really thought about it. But I'm just saying, can you imagine that thought? That like you as a guy, you just decide, bro, I'm gonna break out, and suddenly I became this, I can become this beta male and take it in the ass and suck and swallow, and boom, my whole, it's a whole paradigm, a whole world get ushered into, like I get to live freely, and people are even nicer and kinder to me. Can you hear yourself saying that? People are nicer and kinder to me. I don't get to, like, you get to operate in this whole new universe, this software where you get to like break the matrix, and you get to like make people feel uncomfortable, and you get to have power. It's this illusion of power that comes with being the other. That you know what, how black people in America are a great example of that, because we're willing to sacrifice anything for anything that would enhance our identity beyond just being plain old basic black. You know how that's like the worst thing to be in America. Just basic black. You ain't got nothing else going for you. You ain't got no 1%. You mean to tell me you just pure black? You know how black people hate that shit? Ain't that fucking what? That is an emblem, a signature of a people that hate themselves. And that is what you call the curse. Self hate, the curse. I have that. I'm the father of that shit. I'm guilty. And to be very fucking honest with you, the more I even say that shit, bro, the more I see myself, I am absolutely fucking guilty. And you know, I tell you the truth, part of the reason why I hate my fucking self is sometimes I just look at the world and I'm like, I'm part of this shit. I hate this shit. I hate these motherfuckers. They act stupid. They're stupid. They're just loud. I hate myself because I know they're me, and I love these motherfuckers. I love them. I love being around them. They're funny. They're humorous. They're fucking intelligent. They're simple. They're down to earth. They're amazing people. I love black people. I love Africans, but that's the duality. That wrestle, that polarity, that mental illness, motherfucker, that crazy madness. And sometimes I hate you. I hate you. I want to beat you. If I get strength, slap you. And I know you feel the same way about me, and that's why we just keep fighting, because we fucking hate each other. Because motherfucker, you want to correct me, and I want to correct you, and we can't even fucking talk to each other. And because I see you, and I know you're me, and I want to correct you so bad, and you see me, and you know I'm you, and you want to correct me so bad. And sometimes we break each other when we go, bitch, I will never fuck you. I want to listen to you. And that shit just breaks our heart, and we go, all right, if that's the case, I ain't even want to talk to this motherfucker. I'm just gonna let this motherfucker be. How can you tell me 21st century motherfuckers sacrificed, slaved, and died to try to make it to Africa to see what the fuck was happening, over there, and even dare to dream of building fucking ships, Marcus Garvey, that will connect the whole race. And in this age, this man did not live to see the internet. We have the internet today, and we you telling me that in this day and age, black men cannot rally around Dr. Umar or any other extreme or non-extreme. And don't get me wrong, I'm not some, or even what's his name? I'm just saying, why are you frightened of strong-willed black men? Why are you not frightened of a fucking Trump? And that's how you know, you pussy motherfucking niggas. I love Trump, but I'm not a bitch. So I can tell you I love Dr. fucking Umar, nigga. I love Farrakhan, and I'm not a fucking Muslim. I love that shit to death. Allah forever. Do you understand that? Can you fucking understand that? You fucking I hate you fucking coon. You fucking fake niggas that like to tell a nigga he ain't nigga black enough. I fuck you, bitch. There's no gun you can have that will ever make me afraid of you. I hate your stupid bitch, punk ass motherfucker. Just because you have the language to insult me in your fancy American fucking accent and shit does not mean any fucking thing. My children are born. Motherfucker, fuck you. Do you understand? I know they fear you. If you could kill me a billion fucking times, God forbid, fuck you. I know they fear you. You motherfucking niggas gotta listen. You know why? You motherfucking niggas are always at the door. You always posted up at the door. Every time I'm trying to go fight some white man, I always gotta fight you first. Why? Why? Why I gotta go through 100 niggas to get to one white man? Why are you motherfuckers still positioned at the gates? Why you bitch ass niggas? I hate you. If you stupid, get the fuck out of my fucking way. I, I don't care how you look. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how black, how African American. I don't care how fancy you are, bitch. I can't get to one fucking white man. I can't go fight. I can't go argue. I can't go talk to one white. I gotta go to 100 of you motherfucking low, not lousy mother. You talking shit. Now, I say that with all due respect. Why? Because I'm your nigga, and I'm willing to follow. I'm willing to be a part of the crew. I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to obey. I'm willing to be corrected. I'm willing to hear. I am saying, because I'm talking from my soul, and I understand that it can be disrespectful, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being disrespectful, but I had to say something to kind of get your fucking attention. You know, I love black men. I have come to respect black men, and have a deep sense of reverence for black men, like I have for my ancestors. So I respect black men. I love black men. Little young niggas on the street in whatever fucking. I respect black men. Period. But I just want to be bold and courageous enough to be like, bro, I love you, but you fucking up right alongside me. We fucking up. How about that? If I put it that way, maybe that wouldn't take my. Because I'm not. We're fucking up. So why I say that? Because I've given it time. I've waited for years to see whether these things, like, people will be talking, like, that's people don't talk about the things that matter. I'm just a consumer. I'm an observer. I don't People don't talk about the things that matter. They just talk about other random things, and then they try to convince me that those things matter more. And that's the thing that offends me. Those things don't matter as much. That's a lie. I don't like lies. I think that's the thing. And when I see us grab hold of lie and we're ready to fucking die for it, let me tell you a statement that's not a lie. If I'm willing to be all dick sucky over Donald Trump, and yet the same nigga cannot be all dick suck. You can't even get him to say one positive thing about a a Louis Farrakhan. Do you know that Donald Trump is the equivalent of Louis Farrakhan? Do you see Louis Farrakhan being a fucking president of America? Now you can say, "Oh, Louis Farrakhan is on the record having said X, Y, and Z." Fuck you. Do you know who holds the records? Do you know how many things Trump has said in secrecy? Just because they're not brought to your attention, does that mean that he is free of such thoughts? A man that could refer to you as a black, as though you're some idea, and yet you just laugh it off because you're a fucking slave mind. And the country requires two minds to function in polarity to one another, one slave, the other master. One obeys, the other commands. So you go, oh yeah. No, 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 no. If you go, oh yeah, for Trump, let it be from a deep seated knowing that we're all one and love is the only thing that reigns. Therefore, there isn't any room for you to really dislike Trump. There isn't. Just like there isn't room for you to dislike Farrakhan. And you should be willing and able and bold enough to argue for on behalf of Farrakhan the same way you motherfuckers mobilized. See why my insult comes out? I'm sorry. Caught myself again. I'm gonna stop saying it. I hate when people insult me. And I know you people do a way better job at deconstructing and destroying me verbally than I can say anything. So again, when you understand that I'm not trying to be comic, I'm not trying to be funny, I'm just speaking. And sometimes I curse when I speak, and sometimes things sounds a little funny, and that's all. But nonetheless, that's not an attempt to belittle you. So, and so if I sense that coming out of your genuine whatever, I take it as that as well. But nonetheless, I'm still working on just being a lot more disciplined, learning to speak, learning to talk like every child. But all I'm saying is, how could you say that that's not the same thing? One, fucking radical in thinking, right? Bold men. This is what women know and love and can. I think a true woman, if you found out I'm a slave, right? And I think that's what's amazing, divine, and holy about the black race too, black community. The fact that they're able or we're able, speaking of the positives, the fact that as black people we're able to still maintain some illusion of a family is a miracle because of the things that we've been through. The kind of beating the black men have taken, the ridicule, the humiliation, the kind of complete destruction of the black family that occurred during all of slavery, not just America's brand of slavery. In this context, we're talking about the elongated story or history of slavery, one that stretches beyond Europe to ancient worlds, right? For I know, I am quite certain, I don't believe in any fucking myth that attempts to rewrite the history of slavery, placing other group of persons in the place of black people, as though the carvings on the walls were not a good enough indication, as though the writings, the scripting, as though the many living indications that are reflected in the world, the remnant, the destruction that took place here, as though it's not evident in the people, as though the people don't still bear the scars. of the